tell us a little bit about what you've seen in the field this year when it comes to Trunemco? And that could be, I guess, in corn, that could be in soybeans, that could be in cotton. What have y'all been seeing in terms of field use?
So this was our first launch year with Trunemco in the field. And in the soybean market, what we found early is that early planted soybeans, the benefits that we've seen from Trunemco is that early root establishment from the plant. So taking advantage of the fertility and the soil plantings, the early soil plantings that we had this year with soybeans, which yielded higher pod counts and a little bit more soybean growth early on. So what happens there is you get a chance to take advantage of that rainfall maybe later in the season. We got an earlier plant with more pods, and when we get those later rains, we get a better pod fill, and that's where we've seen some additional yield on soybeans. And corn, we've seen some nice yield or nice enhancement to emergence, where we've seen a little bit more growth, earlier growth out of the corn where we had Trunemco on the seed. So even on the earlier plantings when it was cool, maybe cool, wet conditions, that Trunemco helped get that plant out of the ground a little bit quicker. So we've seen earlier emergence scores from the Trunemco treated corn versus the non-treated. So that worked out really well there. And on the corn, we've seen that aiding in that yield here from this fall. So higher yields on corn. In cotton, the same way. We've got that good early uptake of the cisjasmone, providing good protection of root knot nematode, which is a fairly heavy pressure and yield robbing pest in cotton, and seen nice results there. Actually, we had a customer this year that utilized Trunemco and unfortunately had a little bit over application, and the seed safety there from Trunemco was called out at that time. We still seen an extremely high, I think it was 95% germ on that cotton seed when we had an over application. So feel very good about the seed safety of Trunemco on cottonseed, and the performance against root knot and reniform looks very, very good, very strong this year with that early uptake of the cisjasmone. So those are some of the things on the three main crops that we have at this point, and feel very comfortable with it being a standard product for use when you're looking at nematode protection in those three crops.